G'day investors and welcome to Stocks to Watch, where we try to shed some light on potential investment opportunities to try and make you more informed investors. My name's John Franklin, an experienced exploration geo and your host. Today we're taking a deeper dive into Triumph Gold Corp, a gold explorer primarily in the Yukon with over 200 square kilometres of land, over 2 million ounces of gold equivalent resource over 3 resources, and plenty of upside with recent exploration success as well. Furthermore, the company has just expanded into the United States, acquiring the Coyote Knoll Silver Gold Project in Utah. Today, I'm sitting with Marty Henning, the principal geologist of Triumph Gold Corp. Marty, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, John.
My pleasure, mate. Good to have you on. Now, gold's been flying over the last year to 2 years. Everyone's kind of aware of it. It's on a lot of people's radars, been outperforming a lot of other assets. However, copper and silver seem to be now having their time in the spotlight as well. Recently, both surging off the back of either Trump tariffs or potentially a gold-silver ratio catch-up situation. Firstly, what does this mean for Triumph Gold Corp and where do you see these prices going from here?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Yeah, Triumph Gold is really excited about these metal prices because we have a polymetallic resource at Freegold Mountain, where it contains not only gold, the gold is associated with copper, silver, molybdenum, and tungsten in porphyry and epithermal deposits.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, tungsten also as well, but mentioning that's been taking a bit of a ride on the upwards direction as well. So that's fantastic. So digging into your recent acquisition of Coyote Knoll, so you've pushed into the United States. Can you give us an investment thesis as to why you acquired that?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the gold to silver ratio is climbing quite steadily. Silver's tracking really well with gold, and we saw this as an opportunity to diversify our portfolio. Coyote Knoll is primarily a silver property. It's epithermal in nature, but there's gold with it as well. So that's a really nice complement for us.
Fantastic. And so what type of historical exploration work has been done there?
Yeah, Coyote Knoll was first discovered in 1988 from traditional prospecting. And soon after its discovery, it was optioned to Freeport-McMoRan, where they drilled off some of the veins there. And since then, in the early 90s, there's been a few operators on the property, some of which started up a small scale open pit bulk tonnage sampling process where they've mined and processed about 1,000 ounces of silver from one operation. And they also trucked and mined out this vein that's been identified in a different operation in, I believe that was 2012. And subsequently, the RC drilling amounts to about 3,000 meters of drilling. There's been geophysics and geochem samples, and they've identified 2 vein structures on the property, but it's all real shallow drilling. And we're talking, we just skimmed the top here. So there's a lot of potential down dip at depth and a long strike. So we're excited to grab this property, apply modern day exploration techniques, and really flesh out what's here.
Absolutely. I was going to just say that exact same sentence, that it sounds like it hasn't had a modern day exploration approach to it. So I see, a lot of upside there with coming in with a bit more firepower as far as being a listed entity. Now, what are the next steps for this project to further it?
Well, as I mentioned, there's been some small amount of mining on the property, and we've identified about a 500-meter strike length to the vein system. it would be great to expand on that with traditional diamond drilling, because the only thing that's been hit with the property so far is RC drilling, which really doesn't give you a good indication of what you have. You don't see any of the vein textures and vein continuity and things like that. So we would really like to open it up, maybe do some additional trenching, some geochem sampling, and really figure out what we're dealing with here.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to get any structural information from those RC chips. I've tried myself. So shifting from the Coyote Knoll project onto your flagship, the Freeport Mountain project in Yukon, could you give us an idea of like where are you up to exploration wise with that? You've got an established resource with multiple million ounces in the ground. What's the next step there?
Yeah, right. So as we've said in previous videos, or interviews, we've really just been in a holding pattern, and we didn't want to dilute the company and not see the value in it. So there's still a lot of targets, untested targets on the property, and there's some big geochem anomalies that stretch kilometers that haven't been tested. So we would like to go back to these untested targets, firm them up, drill them off, and expand on what we already have developed in terms of resources. The really exciting thing about the property is there are 2 known porphyry centers, and those porphyry centers are about 5 kilometers apart. And there's been very limited drilling in and around each of these porphyry centers. So it's very easy to hide another, as a geologist would say, it was a cupola or an event that comes up. And these porphyries in the district, sometimes people refer to them as pencil porphyries because all you see is the very tip, but they've got really deep roots. So the erosional surface hasn't really gotten down and exposed the big target here. So we need to go in and really approach this with a fine-tooth comb and look at every geochem anomaly, every geophysical anomaly that hasn't been tested with drilling yet.
Absolutely. So you're saying there's those 2 porphyry centers, but as I'm aware that there's also other types of mineralization there. Could you expand on what else is going on at the property?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really complex, and as a geologist, it's something that you dream about. So when we talk about porphyry centers, it's the heat source. That's the boiling fluids, and they're interacting with the surrounding rock that they're coming into. And in some cases, we see skarn mineralization, heavy magnetite with gold, and epithermal mineralization. So we'll see distal expressions of epithermal mineralization outbound of these porphyry centers. So we've got the full package, the full geological model. We're not just chasing one vein. We're not just chasing one pod of skarn mineralization, which are sometimes difficult to follow. And ultimately, what we see in the nucleus deposit are little bands of skarn replacement mineralization that surround the epithermal veins. So in that one deposit, there are 2 styles of mineralization. Same with revenue. We see some late epithermal veining, cross-cutting porphyry mineralization.
Fantastic. As the geos say, it sounds like some messed up rocks, and that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. So as far as you mentioned the nucleus and the proton deposit, how far away are they from each other, and kind of, I guess, what's the next future exploration plans for expanding it?
Yeah, very recently we found some new vein showings. We termed them the Proton Zone because it's just outside of nucleus. The the veins are parallel to a really large regional fault structure called the Big Creek Fault. And the Big Creek Fault trends parallel to the Tintina Gold Belt trend, right? And that's where these Cretaceous intrusions are coming up. And we believe that the vein expressions that we're seeing here are quite tied to these Cretaceous intrusions and allowing the fluids to find these pathways parallel to these major structures. And the structures are creating like a fabric in the rock. And our current idea now is this fabric allows the linkage between the porphyries and the epithermals as it's channeling the fluids. So we want to see if we can use these as vectors to find something that's larger, and we can turn into a mineable resource.
Absolutely. It sounds like there's an absolute mixing pot there for as far as chasing those 4 different types of mineralization. As far as you are a geologist, what kind of excites you most about developing this economically? Like as far as the mining method or the depth of mineralization, like what excites you most about the project?
Well, I'll just mention that we're situated in what people often call elephant country. So the big brother to our deposit is Casino, the Casino deposit, and it's a long trend from us, and that deposit's 15 to 20 million ounces of gold, and I don't know what the exact numbers of billions of pounds of copper, but it's up there. It's going to be a multi-generational deposit when it gets into operation. And we see the exact same signatures at Freegold Mountain. We see the same rocks, we see the same style of mineralization, we see the same textures of alteration. We just believe that we haven't found the big causative intrusion or the source. And so at Revenue, the mineralization goes, we've chased it down with drilling, below 800 meters, and it's still present. So we are really excited that there's something big down there. It's just really costly to drill it. So we're looking for near surface expressions that have come up that are outside of our already known resources. I've mentioned these cupolas or vents outside of what we've already known. And there are lots of geochem signatures that haven't been tested yet. So what we have so far in this 2 million gold equivalent ounce resource is amenable to open pit mining, which means your mining costs go down. You can target lower grades, bulk tonnage type resources, and that's what we're really focusing on. But we also have high grade veins that extend out from these zones. There's so many showings on the property. It's difficult not to try to go after all of them. So you have to focus on something that's going to be mineable, and there's lots to find here.
Sounds like a monster geochemical signature on the surface there, and you've got plenty to follow up there. So yeah, you've got that heat source from the porphyries. It sounds like you've got some serious structural complexity and obviously mineralization kicking around. So this will be one to watch. Can you tell investors or potential investors where they can invest here? Like what exchange and the ticker, if you know that?
Yeah, you can find us just by searching up TIG. And over the last couple of years, we did a consolidation. The stock is held really tightly. There's not very many shares out, and we're quite undervalued for our current resources. And we're really excited to get into Utah and open up and see what we can expand on at Coyote Knoll. Speaking about elephant country, we're along strike of Bingham Canyon, and we're in close proximity to the Tintic mining district, and those two geological areas are providing a lot of wealth and a lot of metal in south of Salt Lake City there. So, like I said, we're just scratching the surface at Coyote Knoll. There's a hell of a lot of opportunities to grow something of potential, and we're really excited to enter into that space.
Awesome. Looking forward to following the story further from here and seeing some initial results from that Coyote Knoll area. Well, Marty, thanks for joining us today on Stocks to Watch, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Okay, thanks, John.
Cheers, Marty.